Is it just me, or is it particularly warmer in here today? I think I know why, because today we're going to be covering a very hot topic, and that is how to construct a strong thesis. Now remember, a thesis statement is really just the answer to the question. Now keep in mind, there are three essential ingredients in every strong thesis statement. The first one is you have to be able to answer the question, and every single part of the question. Two is you need to understand what the circumstances are, or the condition. Now I'll show you what that means a little bit later. And three, you want to include rich vocabulary. This is how you can take an average thesis to the next level. There are three things that you should know when you are constructing a thesis statement. One is it is the very last sentence of your introduction. And in some cases, with the amount of time you have, it might be the only sentence that you have. Two, it is the most important sentence, not only in your introduction, but in your entire paper. So you want it to read really well, and you really want to take time to develop it and even go back and refine it and make it perfect. I can tell a lot about an entire essay by just reading the thesis statement. In fact, oftentimes I can even predict the score of the essay by reading the thesis statement. And when I go on to read the essay, I might be able to say, yes, you know what, I thought that would be an A. Or you know what, I knew that this paper wasn't going very far. The third thing you should know when writing a thesis statement is this is the statement that you have to spend the entire paper trying to prove. So you don't want to talk about anything else unless it proves this statement. Now look how simple it is to construct a thesis statement. Here is the question. Why didn't you call me back last night? Here's the answer and your thesis. I didn't call you back last night because I was doing Miss Miller's homework. That's it. That's the thesis. Some of you might be saying, now come on, Miss Miller. I know you don't expect us to fall for that. You don't just ask us something as simple as, why didn't you call me back last night? You take it to the whole new level. Now let me show you, Miss Miller, what I'm talking about. You might be saying something like, you know, Ms. Miller, I really think that you deliberately try to stress us out. And you know what? You're going to ask a question like, write an essay in which you discuss the techniques of the diction and the tone the speaker uses to avoid placing the call to the companion. How do these qualities affect the conflict that exists in the caller? That's what you would ask Ms. Miller, not, oh, why didn't you call me last night? So really, it's the same thing. And if you put it in your own words, then it works. Well, you're calling for super student, right? So here's what we would give you. The speaker uses colloquial language and a flippant tone to illustrate how he was consumed with Miller's task, leaving the companion to spiral out of control. Now I've answered each part of the question, and I've added some rich vocabulary to sound brilliant, because after all, it is the most important sentence in the paper. Now, there's one piece missing. Let's see what that is. Now, how do you like this, Miss Miller? This calls for super duper student, and that is my conditional phrase, or the circumstances. And here it is. Even though the two are inseparable. There you go, comma. Now I can answer the question. The speaker uses colloquial language and a flippant tone to illustrate how he was consumed with Miller's task, leaving the companion to spiral out of control. And there you have it, folks. That's how to write a strong thesis statement.